Christman Jennifer, a name almost erased by the centuries, but which still echoes as a dark omen of human evil. In the heart of 16th century Europe, he spread fear, leaving behind a trail of death and despair. His execution brought momentary relief, but the darkness never completely disappears, it only changes its face. Years passed, empires fell, new nations were born. And in the silence of the streets of New Orleans, across the ocean, a new figure emerged. Unlike Christman, she did not hide in caves or forests. She dressed luxuriously, danced in illuminated ballrooms and was revered by high society. But behind the walls of his mansion, the horror was even deeper and more refined. Terror no longer presented itself as a bloodthirsty bandit, but as an elegant lady, hidden behind silk veils and false smiles. A woman of luxury, surrounded by New Orleans high society. But behind the illuminated salons and silk gowns, a lady of horrors hid. Her name was Delphine LaLaurie. And the mask she wore wasn't just social, it was the very essence of her cruelty. In this chapter of our dark journey, you'll meet the woman who turned her mansion into a stage for unimaginable torture. Marie Delphine Macarty was born in 1787 into a wealthy and powerful Louisiana family. Beautiful, refined, and respected, she seemed to have a perfect life. She married 3 times and, with her last husband, physician Leonard LaLaurie, settled in the luxurious mansion on Royal Street. There, Delphine hosted grand parties, attracting politicians, aristocrats, and the city's elite. To everyone, she was the epitome of Southern elegance. But behind closed doors, a terrible secret was about to be revealed. Neighbors already suspected Madame LaLaurie of cruelty. Enslaved people were seen emaciated and mistreated. Some disappeared without a trace. But in 1834, an accidental fire exposed the horrors hidden in the house to the world. When firefighters broke into the attic, they found people chained, mutilated, and starving. Men and women with open wounds, intentionally broken bones, and even marks of cruel experiments. What should have been a noble home ended up becoming a veritable dungeon of pain. The revelation fell like a bombshell in New Orleans. Even in an era when slavery was legal, Madame LaLaurie's methods shocked even the most ruthless slave owners. An angry mob surrounded the mansion. They wanted blood. They wanted immediate justice. So the mob stormed the mansion and nearly lynched Delphine. But Delphine was cold and calculating, and also due to the influence of her relatives, LaLaurie never suffered any major consequences. She escaped in a carriage, disappearing into the chaos. She was never seen again in New Orleans. They say Delphine fled to Paris, where she lived until her death in 1849. But her grave was never found. Others swear she secretly returned to New Orleans and was buried without a name, in the silence of an unmarked grave. Marie Delphine Macarty LaLaurie had children from her 3 marriages. First marriage, to Don Ramon de Lopez y Angulo, a Spanish officer. She had a daughter, Marie Borja Delphine Lopez y Angulo de la Candelaria, born in 1804. Second marriage, to Jean Blanc, a French banker and merchant. They had 4 children. Marie-Louise Pauline Blanc, Louise Marie Laure Blanc, Jean Blanc, Pauline Blanc. Third marriage, to Dr. Leonard LaLaurie. Had 2 daughters. Jean-Louise LaLaurie, Pauline LaLaurie. In other words, in total, Delphine had 7 known children. After the fire scandal of 1834, the children were not accused of involvement in their mother's crimes and led relatively discreet lives, far from her macabre fame. The mystery surrounding his death only increased his macabre aura. His mansion, to this day, is considered one of the most haunted places in the United States. LaLaurie's story has inspired books, films, and even the series American Horror Story, Coven, where she was portrayed by Kathy Bates. Delphine LaLaurie went down in history as the Iron Lady of Cruelty. A woman who wore luxurious masks to hide the most abysmal sadism. Between legend and reality, only one certainty remains: the Royal Street Mansion never forgot the screams that echoed within its walls. And you, would you dare enter it alone? Step into the shadows of history. Sign up now and discover the crimes that time tried to bury.